So welcome back to my video diary, week 2. We're going to call this understanding the process. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the actual problem is in our college with students not being exposed soon enough to the real world, as they would say, because that's what we found out from our employers and our accreditation report. So I needed to move from what is the problem to how things are currently working. And in higher education, maybe most people, at least most people in my office, will agree that we spend a lot of time creating very complicated systems, and it feels like on purpose. It starts as a process, and then it just keeps growing over time, where someone adds something new, someone adds something else new, someone creates another website to add to that, and some department starts using another platform that doesn't work with the website, and then you make a workaround, and before long, everyone is doing their best to try to get it to work consistently and together, but the information is scattered all over the place, and you're losing parts of it and things like that. So what is happening here in my college? I needed to understand how students were finding their internships, how they were connecting with employers, and what kind of resources they were using. So I also needed to know how employers were sharing their opportunities with us as a college. And I know some of those ways because I work in the dean's office, and a lot of times those come through my office. But how are we taking those opportunities and eventually trying to reach the students? So as part of the process, I reviewed our workflow, existing internship resources, and the technologies that we're using across the university and specifically in our college. I met with our internship assistant, and she helped me understand a lot of how we communicate and how all of that's managed. It became very clear that we have a lot of good people and a lot of good resources. But it isn't the challenge that anybody's doing anything wrong. The challenge is that everyone is doing their part, but the parts are not connected. We're not starting and ending in a central place, or even meeting somewhere in the middle. For example, career services, we have Handshake. The internship office works directly with the students, but we push the employers to this large platform, and we put them in the big sea of people. We don't say College of Business students, College of Business Management Department, College of Business Management Department, Hospitality Management. So students get the big fish from a non-proprietary place, and they start fishing for opportunities, and it just becomes really overwhelming and really frustrating for employers. So our faculty hear of opportunities, they try to share it with students, but then you have one opportunity and a bunch of students. So emails come out, departmental websites, Moodles, resources, and they all contain bits and pieces for the students. But from a student's perspective, it's a lot to navigate. It gets frustrating, and the employers find it confusing as well, or that's what they're saying. So mapping out our current process, I realized from an educational perspective, an educational technology perspective, technology is not missing. We have technology: Handshake, SharePoint, Microsoft 360, email, career services. The question wasn't whether we need more technology. The question is, how can we better connect the technology that we already have? So that started to frame and change how I started thinking about the Career Connection Hub. Instead of replacing existing systems, maybe the hub can become the center and the starting point, a place specifically for our students to find the right resources to have the very clear arrows pointing at where they need to go, the right resources, the people who can vet and answer questions, and connect them to everything that they need out there. Not just saying, here you go. Hopefully you signed up for Handshake. Hopefully you can use 13 search engines, and then figure it out on your own. So heading deep into the design, I feel like now that I have a better understanding of the current environment, I feel like looking at colleges and organizations that are similar to ours, specifically AACSB, if we can compare them, and other resources that they're using and how we can evaluate our technology and what we're using, that maybe we can find some of the needs that we've identified, how other colleges may be addressing those as well. It may not be the same solution that we have, but knowing what other people are doing is going to be massively helpful. I feel like the accreditation team knows what to suggest because they've seen it work somewhere. So our goal is to find what's working, find what would work for us, and then make that design come to life. So let's start designing.